Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Grizzly and today we continue to look at the Laurie Vallow Daybell case. Just when we thought that we've seen enough with Letitia, there's also Laurie Vallow. So yes, let's have a snarky Sunday and talk about some things, okay? There's a lot that's been happening. That's also been 3 weeks of the trial in that case. And so what I thought we could do is go over just a few juicy bits that I found in all the stuff that I've been trying to catch up on in the mornings before we do all the Letitia stuff trial days. I just want to make sure that you can all hear me. Could you hear me? Could you hear the intro nicely and everything? Because I've been working on some settings. So, okay. Yes, Diane says, another one that smirks and no remorse. Trinity says, we survived the yada yada yadas. Yes, we did. Okay, I just quickly want to do a poll for you guys. So let me take this off for now. I want to just quickly ask you how you're doing on the case. Are you following it? Are you not? Okay. So let's start a poll, shall we? Welcome, happy Sunday. Have you been following this case? And just wait for the poll. Of course, Laurie Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell's trial, they were supposed to be together and then they severed them. So there's that. Sound is perfect. Okay. Yes. Stand by. Okay, yes, okay. And then, sorry, I'm making this really fast. Okay, so you say yes, you're already answering. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to look, I've done a summary video as well, where I summarize some key points that I'm just going to go over here again. And I also included the whole audio testimony for Melanie Gibb. But today what I'm going to do is just rerun through some of those key moments in Melanie Gibb's testimony, which I think was on day 9 of the Laurie Vallow trial. And then we're going to look at Zulema Pastenes' testimony as well and just go over a few things, right? So Susan says, I'm following both Letitia and Laurie. Very nice. Yes, Laura says, I haven't been watching the trial because I'm with you on Letitia. And the thing is that the Laurie Vallow Daybell trial is not, there's no cameras in the courtroom. So it's only audio every day. So we get 4 to 6 hours of audio every day after the whole court proceeding is finished. East Idaho News is doing a great job at, while the trial is happening, all day just tweeting out and putting out on their website minute by minute updates. So that's really cool. I really like that. They've got a whole thing called Laurie Vallow Digest, and that's been a really great source of information as well. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. Thank you, Lorraine. All right, so Melanie Gibb, if you don't know anything about this case, you don't know who Melanie Gibb is, who's Chad Daybell, who's Laurie Vallow Daybell, who's Zac Cox, who's Zulema, who are all these people and what have they been charged with? I would highly recommend starting with a playlist in my description box because we did a deep dive. We did 4 long streams, a deep dive with infographics and the map of all the people. Who are they? What are they? What's the background and everything? What's interesting to note here is that Laurie Vallow, her dad, worked in life insurance, which is very interesting to consider, especially since the opening statements, the prosecutor said, money, sex, and power. That's what this case was about. And some people wonder, why do they say that? Well, because Laurie, as much as it's religion and her own culty beliefs based on Chad Daybell, them two combining their brains, oh my word, welcome to membership. So, beyond the religion, the two of them, Laurie Vallow and Chad Daybell, had the hots for each other. There's like a money and a sex and a power element because they want to be powerful. They want to be goddesses. They want to bring in the second coming of Christ. But not only that, when people die, Laurie's like, ooh, life insurance. Every time. So that's a pattern we can see even from when her third husband died. She was cashing in on those benefits. So that makes it pretty interesting. She's pretty calculated if you ask me. Okay, so Melanie Gibb, she met Chad Daybell in 2016 And then she met Lori in 2018. So she actually had met Chad at all these preparing the people conferences, you know. So when she met Lori in 2018, I'm just going to say it bluntly, okay? They were both fangirls of Chad Daybell. I don't know why, but they were like, wow, look at this guy, all his books. They'd read all his books. And, you know, he took what the LDS belief was, Mormonism, and just made it his own. So some people get very offended by this case if they are of Mormon faith or part of the LDS church, because they're like, no, that's not how we are. This is not how it is. That's the point. They just started with that foundation, and then Chad made his own fantasy world, okay? And he ordained himself, basically. I mean, he called himself a prophet, and he could give people blessings and do all sorts of things, which really in the church and in the temple, he wasn't actually authorized to do. So when Melanie Gibb met Lori in 2018, they both realized, wow, we're both fangirls of this guy, and they became friends, right? So eventually there's a picture of Lori on the left and Melanie on the right. Melanie was part of this podcast that Lori and Chad had also started, and she knew that Lori and Chad's partners weren't part of the plan. Now, these are just some notes that I'm going to talk around. Sorry, this is true. Trinity says, more like preparing people to die kind of group. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, and Sweetleaf says Lori's dad was into, that's what I said. Yeah, he was into life insurance. That's how she learned all of this. So, okay, so a lot of people red flag Melanie because they're like, how did she not know? How did she not know? Because she knew a lot, and she knew that Lori was fantasizing about being with Chad. Chad was fantasizing about being with Lori. Both of them said they're going to live in a castle. There's going to be these 144,000, you know, disciples, people following in the end days, and then Tammy Daybell, Chad's wife, nope, she's not in the picture. And Charles Vallow, Lori's husband at the time, he's not in the picture. So that would be Lori's husband number 4. If you want to know all of Lori's husbands, all the kids, everything, yes, you need to check out the playlist. But just so you know, Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, Chad's trial is now happening probably next year. I don't know when it's happening. But Lori, she is charged with first-degree murder of... No, she's charged with murder of, JJ and Tylee, her kids, and conspiracy of murdering Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy Daybell. And that's those charges she's facing now. There's still other charges coming. This is the trial for those 3 deaths. But Charles Vallow's death, where her brother shot Charles Vallow, that's going to be a whole separate potential trial. I think it's going to be a whole separate trial in Arizona. So that'll be interesting as well. So when they asked Melanie on the stand, how was Lori when Charles Vallow was shot? Okay. She says she expressed excitement. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, if you're not following the bit of snark and the bit of bullet points I have here today, please go to the playlist to catch up there on the case, because we've done big deep dives and summaries and everything. Okay. So wow, excitement. It wasn't like, she was all right. She was excited. When Lori met Chad at that Preparing the People conference in October of 2018, everything changed. She then decided she must be with Chad. She would do anything to get him. And her husband, he had to go. So, and how do you claim life insurance? Well, they would have to die. In her thinking. And so she got her brother, who acted like a hitman just about. I mean, people do say it like that. She got her brother to shoot Charles Vallow. And there was a whole altercation. We saw the body cams together and everything, again, on the playlist. And yeah, she tried to cash in. Like the next day on the life insurance. We've heard that call together too. And when she found out, wow, he changed his life insurance to his sister. Oh, she was pissed. She wanted that life insurance, okay? So Lori had one phone for Chad and another phone for everyone else. So this affair was now happening, and she had basically like a burner phone just for Chad. My word. Lori and Chad made portals to communicate with each other. So if you thought Letitia's stories about the Cash Belly lady and Eduardo and all that was also, that's pretty crazy. Yeah. This is also like, what? Lori and Chad made portals? Chad taught Lori how to make portals so they can communicate with each other in the closet. I mean, he is so creepy. Oh my word, Chad Daybell. Like that, he really creeps me out. So does Lori. I'm just saying, like, yeah, you're going to go into the portal. We're going to communicate with each other. And I don't want to know what that's like. You know, there's sexting and then there's portal messages. Anyway, Alex Cox believed that he was Lori's protector. And this was his purpose. And guess who gave him that idea? Can we guess who gave him that idea? Ooh, right on says, friends that are LDS and used to live in Utah myself. This makes them spin in anger, I can imagine. Kevin says, what's a burner phone? Just a separate phone. Normally one that's just, just buy one with a SIM card. That's what I mean. One that's not really traced and all that. I don't think it was officially a burner phone. It was just a different phone. She had two phones. One for Chad, one for everyone else. Because she was having a full-blown affair and had lots of sinister plans that she disguised, under the pretense of just religion and doing God's work. Yes, and Angelina says he's super creepers. So, yeah, there's the portals, and that's already like, ew. And then Alex Cox believed he was Lori's protector. It was Chad. Chad whispered in his sweet ear, you're Lori's protector. You're a warrior. You're going to be a warrior of so many one day. So I think really what Chad Daybell did was really capitalize on people's low self-worth, really exploit the crap out of that and be like, you are amazing. You are special. Like, tell yourself that. Tell yourself that. Don't listen to Chad, okay? What's the lesson for today, you guys? If you're feeling low, tell yourself you're amazing. And don't let people like Chad tell you, because you just never know where that's going to go. Becky G, thank you so much. I would not make this up. I just had religious people knock on my door and ask if they could talk to me. What in the world? Tell them you're busy. You're busy watching Grizzly True Crime. Yes. Lori to friend, excuse me, I have to answer my portal. Walks into the closet. I don't want to know what she did in that closet. Oh, no. So, yes, Chad would whisper sweet nothings into people's ears. When you really, really liked someone, I'm gathering the pattern now from listening to all the trial stuff. This is just a quick little recap, right? It's just, he would tell them, you have had past lives. And then he would tell them who and what they were in those past lives. Then he would say they're very, very special with big, big, big missions. Like, who the fuck are you? Huh, Chad? Walking around telling everyone and then telling Alex what his mission is, what his purpose. He hears directly from God, okay? Oh, my word. Okay, so JJ and Tylee got increasingly frustrated with Lori after Charles died because, yeah, they were once a family. Lori, Charles Vallow, JJ, and Tylee. Lori's got another son as well. Colby, we're going to look at a little portion of his call as well today. And we've done, again, the map of who was the dad of which kid and where and what. Okay, so check that out. But what I noted here is that Lori's children, when she was having her master plan with, the more she was going on with this, with Chad, the more they acted out. Tylee was a teenager and she was just getting really frustrated and a little bit snarky, right? And then JJ, he apparently had autism, but he was just not able to express his frustration, his anger. And I mean, at some point, JJ was taken upstairs by Chad, maybe to discipline him or something, to have a talking to. Or, I don't know, with Chad and Lori casting demons out and stuff, you just don't know. I worry about that. But Chad came back downstairs with his neck scratched. So, yeah, JJ and Tylee did not like Chad Daybell at all, from what I'm hearing. So when Melanie asked Alex, so Melanie Gibb asked Lori's brother, Alex, where Tylee and JJ were. He answered, you don't want to know. Now, it's very interesting when you listen to the trial of everyone saying what Alex said or Lori said or even Chad said was, where are the kids? Now, if you know about this case, you know where the kids were. They were buried in Chad Daybell's backyard. Okay? That is terrible. Oh, my word. Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy Daybell, was asphyxiated. And JJ and Tylee were murdered and buried in Chad Daybell's backyard. So that's where they were. And when people in the group started noticing, with all the casting out of demons and podcasting and everything, like, wait a minute, where are the kids? Like, where are they? Literally. Alex told Melanie, you don't want to know. Also, welcome to all patrons, members, moderators, all subscribers, new subscribers, everyone. Welcome. Happy Sunday to you. Thank you for being here. So, this is what's interesting. Melanie helped Lori move all of Charles's stuff into boxes before he was killed. that is why some people are still like, is Melanie going to be charged at some point? How does she not know? But I think it's one of those, again, it could be another case of coercive control, because Lori was extremely manipulative, cunning, convincing, apparently also charming, and just laughed stuff off a lot. We'll hear that from her son's call as well. But to think, who helped Lori pack up all of Charles's stuff? Because at that point, that's husband number 4, she believed that Charles was possessed by a demon named Ned Schneider. Have you ever heard of such things? The names they come up with for demons is like, wow, what is going on? Ned Schneider, and then Garrett, and then hip loss at the end. Anyway, but when Lori had a plan to get rid of Charles, she was telling everyone in the group that he's possessed by these demons and they're trying to cast it out and everything. Melanie's the one that helped her, pack up his stuff and put it into storage behind all the apocalyptic food storage as well. Yes. So Birdhouse Lady says, I have a question. When did Chad start talking about his wife not living that long? Like dying in a car wreck? It was actually Lori that talked about Charles dying in a car crash. She said that to Melanie. And it was Chad that just talked about setting up this group, the 144,000, and it would be him and Lori and then all these people, and Tammy was not part of that plan. And he also said that he always told Tammy that she would die young. He always believed it. So, oh my word, that's scary. Welcome to all the members. Yes, and welcome to all the new members. So, Lori told Melanie to pretend that JJ was with her by taking photos of random kids at a movie theater and then send them to the police. If that doesn't tell you how manipulative Lori is, I don't know what does, because she's like, okay. So you're my friend, right? We're besties, right? Okay, can you please take a picture of like just random kids at a movie theater? Because I'm going to tell the police that JJ is actually watching his favorite movie with you. He's with you. So she's telling the police that JJ is with Melanie. She's telling Melanie that JJ is with Kay. It's a lot. If you don't know who any of these people are, playlist. I'm going to say it again. Cat Gray says, why do you think Lori's brother Alex agreed to go along with Lori and Chad's plans? Because Alex believed anything and everything that Lori said to him. I think they had quite an inappropriate relationship from what I'm hearing as well. So I'm not sure about that, but she had a lot of control over Alex. Melanie, then, she started getting really suspicious. She was all on board until she's like, why are they making me lie to the police? Why do they want that? Why are they doing this? So she started going like, ooh, ding, 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 red flag. So she recorded a call with Lori and Chad in December of 2019 to confront them about JJ's whereabouts. And then she sent the call to Detective Pillar, which I think is like, yes, finally, you're seeing the light, the actual light. Not that kind of light that these all refer to here. Okay, you're actually seeing the light and you're like, whoa, something's happening here. I don't know where the kids are, but they're now trying to pin this on me. I'm calling the police. Rather late than never. Now that call, if you want to hear it, is on the playlist, on a video that I put out last week. It must have been 4 days ago or so, where I did a little breakdown of everything like this and also put the audio, and it's all time-stamped for you. So go listen to that call and let me know what you think. Now, when they asked Melanie, why didn't Chad just get a divorce? Like, what did they say about that? Chad said that it was because he believed he would lose his exaltation. So, murder doesn't make you lose your exaltation in his belief system, but getting a divorce does. Have you ever heard of things like this? Lainey the Wolf says, Chud Dumbbell. I almost said Dambell. Chud Dumbbell. Yes. Papa Bear says, Alex's first wife is on the police recording saying Lori and her brother Alex had sexual... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ooh, I can't stomach it. I can't go there. I'm just like, no. Alex and Lori, imagine... No. I know that they said that Lori jumped on Alex sometimes and wrapped her legs around him and they made all kinds of sex noises and stuff. See, we're sounding just like Letitia now, with the Iguardo story. Pleasure sounds were made... Okay, let's not get our lines crossed here with these two cases. My word. Okay, so yes, Chad would lose his exaltation if he got divorced. So his solution was to, Murder. Yeah, okay. Great logic there. The group did not pray. So when they asked on the stand, they asked Melanie, did you pray for hunger? Did you pray for peace? Hunger to end, peace? She's like, nope, not that I remember. Like, whoa. So you all just got together to do these castings. This is what Laurie and Chad's big plan was. Everyone has to cast out demons. They all have to be together. And they identified all these people that basically were people that suspected Laurie and Chad of something sinister. They were like, yep, that's a zombie. We need to get rid of them. We need to cast out these demons. Whoops, look, another demon's entered them. Yep, we're going to have to increase our efforts, everyone. Everybody start fasting, and the next minute, they die. Yes. Okay, and so I just find that amazing. There's no praying for peace, ending hunger, not helping anyone, just demons out, just get rid of. Okay, so casting was also done in their homes and not in the temple, which is also a red flag because it's in secret. It's in isolation. Small group of people doing really weird stuff. Okay. And Laurie was at the temple like 8 hours a day, which is what a year ago already her nephew, Zac Cox, said in an interview, which is extremely interesting to listen to. I'm also going to go over some of those bullet points today. But he was saying she was at the temple like 8 hours a day as if it was a job, right? She worked there on a Thursday. So for all that temple time, they didn't do any of this funny stuff in the temple. Oh, no. That was reserved for the VIP room, you know what I mean? At their house. Yes, Dana Bulbrook is like, lose exaltation and commit murder. Tough call that. Yes. Okay. So, Laurie seemed very happy. She was so excited, when Tammy passed away. Initially, they said of natural causes, but then her body was exhumed, and we'll go over that timeline. Her body was exhumed, and they're like, whoa, she died of asphyxiation, not natural causes. And she was so excited when Tammy died to get married to Chad Daybell. That was the plan, right? These two were already buying malachite rings in May of 2019. Like months before. Charles Vallow died. Months before Tammy Daybell died. Wow. Estelle Pretorius says, Baie dankie. Ek is so trots op jou. Dankie. Dankie, Estelle. That means thank you very much. And I'm so proud of you in Afrikaans. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Laurie and Chad taught Melanie because, they're teachers as well. They're imparting all their wisdom on all these other people, okay? And they're teaching Melanie about rating people as light and dark and what it meant when they became zombies. Chad told Melanie not to answer the phone if police called. Wow. So that's not dodgy at all. She was like, what? Okay, so that's a little breakdown of Melanie's testimony. I would recommend listening to the full thing. If you have the time, you can listen on 1.5 speed. It's on my channel. That audio is there. It's on the playlist. Now let's go to Zulema. Zulema Pastenes. Let's go over who she is. Okay, she was married to Alex Cox for a whole 2 weeks before he dropped dead. So that was interesting. But let's go over the background, okay? Van says, Dankie. Yes, and in Dutch we say dankjewel as well. So Afrikaans and Dutch are very closely related. If you don't know and you're new here, I'm Grizzly. I am South African living in the Netherlands. So there's that. That's what the funny accent is all about. Okay, so Zulema, guess where she met Laurie? Oh, also in 2018. Everything started going wrong, I'm going to say, you guys, in October 2018. It's at this Preparing the People conference where Chad Daybell's there. Laurie is hitting on him. It's a match made in hell. And all these people are meeting there. Melanie, Zulema. It's just, wow. That was a terrible, terrible get together, it seems. MN Mom says, I just want to thank Gizla, Mods, and Grizzly for making Grizzly True Crime such a lovely community to be part of. There's no better place to be. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Wilmarie says she looks evil in her mugshot. Yeah, she looks like the mask came right off, right? Yeah. Okay, that's true as well. Laurie did have burner phones. You're right. When she went to Hawaii, she had a whole bag full of burner phones. I remember that now. I believe it was Melanie that testified on the stand that Laurie had 45 burner phones. Thank you for reminding me. Do remind me, because there's this case. It's a lot. I'm almost going to say it's almost more than Letitia. Can you believe it? Because there's so many people and so much, and it's just like, what? So many people died as well. you know? Anyway, so Zulema Pastenes. She meets Lori in 2018 at Melanie Gibb's home in Gilbert, Arizona. So she was part of the LDS church and part of the same ward and all that kind of stuff, right? So Lori, she was giving a testimony of a visit from an angel, Moroni. Because, she's so narcissistic, even in a religious sense, that she speaks directly to Jesus Christ. Spiritual beings visit her. Any rules that Chad makes up, she says, yeah, but it doesn't apply to me. It doesn't apply to me. She's just the exception to the rule. She's amazing. Okay, so Zulema said, Lori seemed very righteous and spiritually above people. I would say that's how Lori made people feel. That's right, Megan. Are you a South African? A fellow South African, Grizzly? Hell yeah. How's it? Okay, so Zulema believed Lori at the meetings. Hook, line, and sinker. Lori and Chad fooled a lot of people. Especially because, they're at these religious meetings. They're talking about stuff. They're praying about things. And so slowly but surely, Lori and Chad are morphing all of this into their own belief system, right? Zulema observed Lori when she first met Chad. She said she was very flirtatious. She also said she made all the moves. She was making all those moves, Gross. And she sat at his table a lot, and then she offered to sell his books for him. So Lori was like sparkly eyes, just like, oh my word, I've met my hero. I've read all his books and I've listened to, I don't know if he did podcasts, but I've read all his books and he's just amazing. And here I am meeting him in the flesh and just like, I will sell all your books for him. And she's just batting her eyelids at him. And he's like, whoa, because he is not all that. He's just not. I just want to see something quickly because I want to show you one thing here. Which is, 46, 41. Yeah. Okay, so this is from a year ago where Hidden True Crime interviewed Chad Daybell's sister-in-law. And somewhere here, she says, let's see if it's this part that I pinned.
Worldview, and yet she framed him somehow, I guess.
Well, what do you think about that, though? I mean, and maybe I'm jumping ahead, but who do you think is the leader in this? Did Lori seduce him? Was this Chad?
So my opinion is that Chad offered her spiritually what she was looking for, and Lori provided him sexually, physically, what he was looking for.
And this is from Chad Daybell's sister-in-law. Okay. Criminally Focused says, Grizzly, how are you able to follow this case and the Step Monster case? Blows my mind. You're such a badass. Thank you so much. When I've tried Bubbleless in the morning, I listen to Lori Vallow stuff. I don't know how. Coffee and Lori Vallow. Okay. So we heard that. You heard it, right? 46, 41. Here we go.
Worldview, and yet she framed him somehow, I guess.
Well, what do you think?
This is a really great interview.
That though,
I'm going to link it for
maybe
you.
I'm jumping ahead, but who do you think is the leader in this? Did Lori seduce him? Was this Chad?
So my opinion is that Chad offered her spiritually what she was looking for, and Lori provided him sexually, physically.
Chad offered her spiritually what she was looking for, because she was looking for a husband who would spiritually match her, and that's what she was after. And Chad, I mean, well, it's pretty obvious what he was after. Van is like, best cure for Bubbleless. Best cure for Bubbleless? Listen to some Vallow stuff.
What he was looking for, because he was looking. So I think, and Larry and Kay and Matt and I, as we've talked, we all agree it was just the perfect storm. It was just because, and that's all I can come up with, because Chad is nothing.
Look,
ew, like he's. I'm being rude, but ew. I mean, he's nothing attractive. So until she got her hands on him, slimmed him down, grew his hair out, he, like all the names that he's been called, I'm like, yep. So I think that's all it could be, is that he built her up. You're a goddess. You're all these things. He just played into what she was looking for, and she was hot and loaded.
Hot and loaded. I must not forget that. That is how Chad described Lori. She's hot and loaded. Whoa. Presentation. Just calm yourself. We're not there yet. Yeah. So I will link that. All these clips that I show you today, I will link it in the description box afterwards. Okay. Okay. So where were we at? Yeah. So, okay. So Zulema observed Lori was so flirtatious. She sat at his table. She offered to sell books for him, and Chad was just like, whoa. So Chad had married his college sweetheart. They'd been married for more than 20 years. They had 5 kids together. But when he got all this attention from Lori, well, we know what happened. He switched off his brain, followed something else. And then, just a little bit of murder. Wow. Okay, so Chad told Lori, and this is what's so interesting about listening to these interviews from a year ago. Chad Daybell's sister-in-law says he's used this line on so many women. It's nothing. I wish Lori knew that. Can someone please send Lori a letter? Tell her, you're not the first, okay? He offered to write many people's autobiographies, and he also used this line a lot, okay? And if you really pay attention, he's actually kind of hitting on Zulema as well at the same time, because I'm getting weird vibes with how he talks to Zulema too. My point is that he said to Lori, yeah, you've had previous lives, many of them. And in fact, in many of them, we've been married, you and I. You feel that spark? It's because we're destined to be together. We've been married before. We'll be married again. So in their minds, in some way, they're thinking that them being together and, getting rid of people along the way is no problem because they've done it so many times in other lives before. Okay, so he was apparently James, and Lori was Helena. And you know what? Just to add to it, Zulema was Lori's daughter. What the freak? My word. Okay, so I must say, in following Letitia's trial and this one, I'm realizing I have a bit of a talent for following all this BS and trying to make sense of it. I'm good at bullet pointing BS. We're on it. We're following all these lies and stories and really getting to the bottom of it. I'm just looking at what you guys are saying. Yeah, Barbara says most of his followers were women. Oh my word, I read this. You guys, yes. The romance novel, we might have to have a snarky stream at some point to go over that stuff because I won't be able to not snark about it. Oh my word. Yes, he wrote like a little romance novel, a little story, about their relationship. Oh, gross. Okay, so... Sorry, I'll try not to say gross so many times, but it makes me cringe, all of this. Okay, so Chad's go-to line is like, hey, sweet stuff. We were married before, and she's like, wow, this is amazing, I knew it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so, and Zulema is Lori's daughter, right? In the car, after this whole conference and everything, Lori told Zulema and Melanie to look up, it's almost like girl talk, like, guys, look up this doctrine and Covenant 7711, which was about the angel that would establish the 144,000 in the last days. And of course, this angel was the one, one of them visiting Lori. And, her and Chad are going to be the ones to lead this group of the 144,000. They're literally the ones that are going to usher in the second coming of Christ. Okay. Lori then ghosted Zulema, which is very interesting. Maybe she thought, oh, Zulema's onto me. She's watching me flirt. She's watching me be wow, okay, calm down. I was going to say something rude. She's watching me be a little bit torty, let's say that rather. And she's like, ghosted Zulema. And then she said they saw each other again at another Preparing the People conference, but then Lori was very sweet and she approached her and of course just acted like nothing happened, like, oh, hey, how are you? And then she invited her to a small gathering at her house. Chad insisted that Zulema joins him because he really wanted to give her a blessing. And if you really read, like, I've got the whole binder, it's 1,108 pages of stuff. It's a lot, you guys. It's a lot. We could be here for days and hours and weeks if we just go through that document, okay? A lot of information. But if we go through the text messages there between Chad and Lori, you'll know why I cringe when he says he wants to give anyone a blessing. It sounds so gross the way he does it. The way he talks about Lori and giving her a blessing, and now the way he's giving Zulema a blessing, I'm like, you put your blessing back in your pants, boy. No, thank you. No, thank you. So she went, and that was the day that she met Alex Cox, who she was married to at the end of 2019. Oh, for a whole 2 weeks. For a whole 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. It was going to be the H word. H. Torty alert. Yes. So, Chad and Lori invited Zulema to lunch and told them, because Melanie was also at this lunch. And even though Chad and Lori were really close to Melanie, you see, they told Zulema, we need to give you some information, but we don't want Melanie to hear this. Now, I don't know why that is, but you know what the info was? Chad called Zulema afterwards, secret stuff, okay, and told her that she too had lived past lives. And she was a very light person. In fact, he rated her a 4.2 light. And Lori, what was she? 4.3. And like 4.3 was ultra light. Do you remember 4.3 is like goddess reigning in, ushering in the second coming of Christ and all this kind of stuff. 4.3. So for Zulema to be a 4.2, I'm like, damn, what kind of plans does Chad have? He's writing in a freaking threesome here or what? You know what I mean? and it's like, put your blessing back in your pants. Yeah, I know. So they taught Zulema about the dark or light rating system that Chad had created. Chad told Zulema, now, whoa, this just escalated quickly. We're going to need a trigger warning for this. We actually do need even the horror hog for this. It's not even trigger bunny, it's horror hog time. Because Chad, while he's whispering sweet nothings in Zulema's ear and saying, you are a very light and special being. You are so special. I'm like, okay, again, warning, tell that to yourself. Don't let any weirdo tell you this stuff because it gets creepy real quick, okay? Don't get your self-worth from anyone else but yourself, okay? Lesson from Grizzly True Crime. Did you write it down? So he's telling her, this is how the light and the dark system works, and you're very, very, very light. Now, in one of your past lives, you were 14 years old, you were essayed and also killed, but then also dismembered. And at the same time, Lori died and she was your mom. What? Like, what a lovely story. Thanks so much for that, Chad. Wow. Becky G says, I don't always marry people, but when I do, it's only for 2 weeks. Right? Thank you so much. Vanessa says, will they be giving evidence against each other? I really wonder about that. I don't know. So Trinity says, fun fact, Melanie Gibb was also told that Lori was her mother. Oh, my word. You see. Chad uses the same freaking lines on everyone. So Melanie Gibb was told that Lori was her mother in past lives. Yes, I remember that. You see, when I heard this, I'm like, didn't he say that before? Yeah, he did. Oh, my word. We've got a year worth of files in this brain. Thank you for reminding me, because that is true. That's true. He did. He told Melanie that, Lori was also her mom before. That is so creepy. What? So he told Zulema that, and he told Melanie that. He also told other people, Zulema, that she had past lives. He told Lori she had past lives. Eventually, when he starts liking someone, he's like, ooh, you have past lives. Thank you, Rochelle. 141K Grizzlies in the house. Very nice. So, what a story, right? You have past lives, and when you were 14, you were essayed, and then you were killed, and then dismembered. I mean, damn, bro. Have you been watching True Crime? What's going on here? Chad and Lori told Zulema about the dark spirits possessing Charles. This was already in February of 2019. Lori also said that her and Charles were having financial problems. Lori said that she slept with Charles twice, not knowing that he was possessed. That's a typo there. There's always one typo at least. We need like a typo jar at this point. Zulema participated in the castings. Now, I wonder how Chad felt about that, meaning maybe Lori slept with Charles twice because she was still married to him. She was having an affair with Chad, and maybe he pressed her for information like, did you or did you not have sex with your husband? Did you cheat on me with your husband? And she's like, only twice, but I didn't know he was possessed, you see? So Zulema said Lori was very convincing. And I think this was like, when I listened to her testimony, because remember, these are bullet points from all the hours I've had to listen to this. In between listening to Letitia, she said, this was a good moment. Lori was very convincing and has a charming way of expressing things that are believing. Lori had expressed before that she'd been visited by heavenly beings. If someone is telling the truth about that, I wouldn't be questioning them. I would believe that they're telling the truth because I would never think that someone would lie about something as sacred as that. Well, Lori would. Who would? Lori would. Okay, and many other people that use religion as their mask. I just mean when we've seen these cults go really wrong, or people hide behind that and they end up being like, true crime cases. That's what I mean. Yes. So, they showed a photo at the trial of the casting group, which includes Zulema, Melanie, and some other lady called Serena, which I haven't even deep dived that yet. But all I know is that Chad said she's a goddess. Another goddess. Okay, so I think he really just was into this whole polygamy thing and trying to set that up, but he wasn't so skilled, with the ladies. So I think it was still his master plan. Like, how am I going to get like a whole bunch of ladies to marry me type thing? And I think he may have presented that idea actually to Tammy Daybell, and she didn't like it because in some of these interviews, like Chad Daybell's sister-in-law, talking to Hidden True Crime, in interviews like that, and ones I've listened to from a year ago, which are actually very interesting in hindsight. Thank you so much, Liz Graham. They say, wait, I'm losing my train of thought, wait. Oh, lost my train of thought when I looked at that. Sorry about that. I'm building up to say something, wait. Oh yeah, that Chad was looking around, as you heard, and that Tammy was no longer sitting with Chad at the church. They were sitting apart. Tammy was looking really sad, like 2 weeks before she was killed. And they think it could be because he may have presented this idea to her of like, ooh, polygamy. Can I have many wives? She's probably like, no, man, what the hell? Yeah, and he used to be a gravedigger before. That's true. That's true. Yes. Okay. So they showed a photo at the trial of the casting group, including Zulema, Melanie, Serena, okay? And they were standing like warriors, but with their fingers pointed like guns. Now, I noted that because, damn, a lot of people were shot in these cases surrounding Lori Daybell, Charles Vallow. I think Tylee was shot. I'm not sure. I don't know about JJ. Whew. And Tammy was asphyxiated. Brandon Boudreaux was shot at. And initially, Tammy was shot at, but Alex messed up. Didn't get it right, which we'll learn about in a moment. So that's interesting that they're like, ooh, we're warriors, but your fingers are pointed like guns. Yeah, Chad and Lori took that literally. Chad said the casting of Ned Schneider, this is in Charles Vallow's body, worked, but another more cunning and powerful demon had entered Charles's body. So I think that means that Charles was really onto them because Charles was emailing them. He was calling Lori out. I put some screenshots from that document on Patreon if you're interested in seeing that. I'm still working my way through that massive document and text and everything because there's so much in there. Thank you, PT. I will spoil Fury with that. Thank you so much. So everyone needed to fast to help cast this demon out, and they did. Now, one thing I learned about cult behavior is that oftentimes the first way that they control people is through food and through fasting. So it's interesting that they made the whole group fast, and everyone was basically, not energized at their weakest so that they can carry out their plan. Because they're so focused on fasting, they're like, ooh, okay, quickly, and then the next minute, Charles is dead. Lori said that Charles moved to Texas because there were doctors to help people who were possessed by demons, and they could keep the bodies alive. What? Lori, after complaining to Zulema and being there with Chad and everything, suddenly she moves, okay? She moves in with Charles. And Zulema's like, but you've been complaining about him so much. Like, he's got demons in him. You want to, like, well, I don't know if she talked about divorce. You want to leave this guy. Why are you going to move in with him? And you know what Lori said? She said she was there to get her finances straight. And we now know that means, life insurance. Except she didn't know that just weeks before, Charles had changed the life insurance from, it was going to go to Lori, but he changed it to go to his sister. So his sister got all the money. Lori often told Zulema about her connection to the number 711. And Charles was murdered on 7/11, July 11, 2019, which Lori said meant that this was now orchestrated by God. Can you believe it? I mean, wow. Very calculated. Thank you so much, Pamela McDaniel. I really appreciate it. Patricia says, that photo was a Charlie's Angels pose. Lori, Melanie, and Zulema. Yes. Yes, indeed. Oh, my word. Vanessa, can you imagine if Chad had met Light T? What a couple. Terrible. Absolutely. And I mean, Light T's already got her threesome story too. So yeah, imagine if they met and if Lori's there too. No. That's too much for our brains. Whew, combining those cases. Imagine it. So, hope you're following. Hope it's fun for you. Thank you for being here. Please like and share if you do like it. So then, Lori, okay, she often told her connection about 7/11, so that's very premeditated. Look, Charles was shot by her brother on 7/11, so therefore this was now orchestrated by God. Lori told Zulema certain things needed to happen before the second coming, and she needed to cleanse the earth of evil spirits. And she was taking steps to usher in the second coming, and Charles's death was just one of those steps. What? Lori and Chad told Zulema to move to Rexburg, Idaho, which would be a refuge. You know, this is not going to be the camp for the 144,000. Alex, Lori, Tylee, and JJ moved into the same apartment complex because wherever Lori went, Alex went too. Sorry, I went a little bit back there. My bad. Are we following? So yeah, Lori's moving, Alex is moving. It's very weird. They had a very strange bond, those two. Lori was living off Social Security benefits because Zulema's like, well, I can't just move to Rexburg. What am I going to do for work? So she's like, how do you not work? So Lori says, oh no, she's living off Social Security benefits that Tylee and JJ were getting after Charles died. And also Joe Ryan died, hubby 3 and hubby 4 died. So there's all these benefits coming in and Lori's just living off that, right? And then when Zulema's like, well, what am I going to do? She said, don't worry. Melanie Boudreau, she's just got a big divorce settlement of $700,000. So she's got enough money for everyone. Zulema then asked Melanie Boudreau about this. And Melanie said it made her really sad to hear that because she wasn't like, this is a free-for-all. She's just like, what? She thinks my money's everyone's money? Like we could all just live off it? What? But, you know, it's the community mindset. And Lori is an exploiter like none other. Lori had previously told Zulema that Tylee had been possessed by a demon named Hillary. So you see what I mean with the demon names? It's like Ned Schneider, Garrett. Now we've got Hillary. And Tammy was apparently possessed by one called Viola. They are really not very creative. Yeah, no, I don't think those demons would be impressed. So Chad asked Zulema to send him a text. Now you can see what he used Zulema for as well. He's like, can you send me a text, you know, that requires me to come to a meeting? Just so he could spend time with Lori. So he's that friend. It's like, ooh, Zulema's texted me. I gotta go. We gotta be praying. We gotta be casting out demons. That's what he's telling his wife, Tammy, who's still alive at the time. And he asked Zulema, please, you be the catalyst. You trigger that. Okay, you send me a text and then I'm gonna come over. But I'm just there to spend time with Lori. He's like a teenager. Like, Chad is so sinister. But at the same time, so immature, right? Yeah, Ned, Garrett, Hillary, Viola. Someone says she got $6,000 a month. Damn. Okay, so in another blessing, oh no, Chad told Zulema that she would be getting married to someone. And I find it so sick because this whole someone is like, you're going to get married to someone. And I'm pretty sure he would have been like, ooh, this, and you're the perfect fit. And Jesus says it's you and Alex that must be together. And what happens when Alex and Zulema get married? Boom, 2 weeks later, he's dead. Now, I do wonder if he didn't take something himself to, you know, off himself at that point. We'll look at the timeline. Let me know what you think. Either that or Chad and Lori got rid of him because they decided he knows too much now. So Alex went to Arizona for Halloween. I'm like, Halloween? In this religion? I don't think so. Like, that's how they talk about it. For Halloween, he went there. I'm like, okay. Anyway, I don't think Halloween is mixing with all this. But moving on. And then he stayed at Zulema's house. And then I put this in brackets like this because that's how I'm sorry, but that's how she talks about it. They kissed and held hands. And I'm like, oh my word, this is all a bunch of teenagers. These middle-aged people, what are they doing? They're like, we kissed and we held hands and everything. Like, oh my word, wow. First base, huh? They got engaged on November 7th, 2019. Zulema noted that JJ and Tylee were nowhere to be seen then. She says that she and Alex had no idea where Lori and Chad were either, but they later got photos from Hawaii because by that time, Charles Vallow dead, Tammy Daybell dead, Lori and Chad take their malachite rings they got on Amazon and they go to Hawaii and get married and just live their little fantasy there together with no need for closet portals. Oh yes, that relationship was completely out of the closet, in the open, in Hawaii. I feel sorry for everyone that laid eyes on them. So Alex then said to Zulema, can you believe that they are being such jerks after how much I've helped them and now they don't want to talk to me? And what does help them mean? Murdering the kids was helping them. And it's still debated who murdered Tammy, but most people think it would be Chad, right? Yeah, Stefan's like, Hawaii time. Exactly. That is true. Sarah Sunshine. Yes, Chad began all this crazy when he said he had a near-death experience after falling like 60 foot off a cliff or something. Yes, indeed. That's true. So, yeah, Chad and Lori in Hawaii having the time of their lives. And so we carry on, right? Now, Tammy Daybell was shot at on October 9th. There was a masked man that she saw, and it seemed like he had a paintball gun, but I think it could have been a gun. I don't know. But anyway, Tammy Daybell was shot at. Lori was on the phone, and Zulema says that she was angry, saying, "Idiot, moron, he can't do anything right by himself." So now we know, oh, it was like an assassination attempt. Like you were trying to kill Tammy by shooting her. Which is also how Charles Vallow was killed. From everything I've researched, I think that's how Tylee, I think she was shot. And yeah, JJ, I think died another way, which is very, very too sad to really talk about. We will though. We've been through it before. But anyway, for now, let's focus on this. So Laurie's like really upset with Alex that he can't do anything right by himself. Wow. Floating the River said, do we know if Alex had a life insurance policy? Not sure. I'm not too sure about that. I'll have to check, but probably. Or I know that he left a whole bunch of money in like a duffel bag, also in a closet for Zulema. And he said, if anything happens to me, I'll show you that as well afterwards. If anything happens to me, there's money for you and all of that. The experience of how Alex died is very weird. So we can go over that too. We might be here for a little while, but anyway, let's go through this quickly. So now, Lori said that her and Chad received instructions from angels about how to cast demons out, and that is why Tammy died. The day after Tammy's funeral, Chad was going to move into Lori's apartment. I mean, he had a huge property, but he's like, I'm moving in. He's got his toothbrush and everything, you guys. He's moving in. Okay. He's like, let's make this official, day after the funeral. When Zulema asked where JJ was, Lori said he was with Kay. Alex and Zulema married in Vegas on December 1st, 2019. Melanie told Zulema, now that's Melanie, not Boudreaux, the other one, the friend, Melanie Gibb, told Zulema that she thinks that Chad and Lori were deceiving them and that they had asked her to lie for them. So that's about the thing we looked at earlier, in the movie theaters and hiding about where JJ is and all that. Zulema then was like very confused and like, why would they do that? So she confronted Alex about JJ and he said very little and all he said was, I don't know. Alex died on December 12th, 2019. And just the day before Alex died, Lori and Chad told Alex that Tammy's body would be exhumed. Zulema said that Alex said, I think I'm being their fall guy. Zulema says that Chad's teaching said that a body needed to be burnt and destroyed to prevent other demons from entering. Another way was to bind the body. That is so scary to think that Tylee's body was dismembered and burnt and JJ's body was bound. JJ's hands were duct tape. There was a bag over his head, duct tape. He was in his red pajama pants and still he's like night diaper. You know, like it's not, he was 7, right? 7 years old, but like you know what I mean. Anyway, and so, whoa, that must have been so scary to dig all that up. But yeah, you have to like destroy bodies. So it just sounds like a lot of true crime. I'm like, damn, this is you're just a killer. You're like, okay, kill, dismember, burn, bury. Yeah, whoa. Nothing good about this. So Tylee was apparently rated 4.1 dark, and Zulema said that Alex believed everything that Lori told him. Little Nuggles says, thank you to you and the mods for walking us through this case. You and the mods are the best. Thank you so much, Little Nuggles. Angela says, dang it, I found the stream late. I like the angry face. Don't worry, you can catch up on 1.5 speed. Thank you, Aaron. Yes, so many bullet points. And I could put in so many more. So Zulema said that she considers what Chad and Lori did evil because they asked her, well, what do you think about it now? And she's like, well, yeah, now she thinks it's evil. But she also said, I've always believed people and I believe in the goodness of people. I see their positive sides, their good sides, and I try to believe their intentions are always good. I've become a lot more cautious since meeting Chad and Lori, and my views have changed a little in regard to that. Right. I'm just like, damn, you see, that's why I'm just the opposite of this. Always believe people, nope. Give people the benefit of the doubt, rather not. Trust people, careful with that. And definitely don't get your self-worth from others. That's it. Okay, now, what I want to show you is this, because it's so freaking weird. Let's make it bigger. So here's Alex, here's Zulema, and there's an interview there. I wonder if have we been through the interview before? It might be on the playlist there. I've watched it before. I don't know if we've watched it together before. So the day after Alex Cox and Zulema Pastenes were married in Las Vegas, he offered to give her a massage. It was Saturday, November 30th, 2019, in the middle of the day. Cox, a massage therapist and comedian, had never given Pastenes a massage and said that they needed to go to, and this is why I read this to you. We have to, you guys. We have to. Where did they go? Where did they go? Walmart. There you go. Walmart will never sponsor this channel. I just want to have a sip of this quick. Oh, yes. Saturday, November 30th. Alex Cox, the hitman, okay, is like, we need to go to Walmart. Of course you do. Of course you're going to say Walmart. To buy a large plastic drop cloth commonly used for painting projects. They purchased the item, returned to their room, and he spread the cloth over the bed. Pastenes remembers lying down and quickly falling asleep. I was really, really relaxed. Like when you're not, like when you're trying to wake up and can't, Pastenes recalled. I was thinking, why am I so relaxed and I can't wake up? I was in and out and could hear him talking, and I was like, who is he talking to? Sounds like a little too much Zanny there. Not on her doing. Maybe he put something in a drink, or I don't know what the hell's going on here. Pastenes said it sounded like Cox was chatting with somebody on the phone in the bathroom. When she was finally able to wake herself up, she asked her new husband who he'd been talking to. He's like, nobody, I was just talking to myself. Oh, yeah, right. What, he's in the bathroom just talking to himself? Yeah, right. Oldest excuse in the book. Except this is not an affair. This is like talking to his sister, which, yeah, that's a very blurred boundary. She took a bath and then suggested to Cox that they should watch a movie together. He was doing something on his phone and acting super quiet. Alex is usually joking, and he'd find a way to turn things into a joke. He was always making you laugh, but he said nothing for the rest of the evening, Pastenes said. I asked if he was okay, and he said, I'm just tired. It's like when men ask women, is something wrong? What's wrong? Nothing. Yeah, he's like, I'm just tired. The fact that he was quiet and said nothing, that's so not Alex. Alex is not quiet. Pastenes explained the unusual events of the day to detectives from the Rexburg Police Department and Fremont County Sheriff's Office, who met with her for 2 hours this past April in Arizona. The interview, which you can watch in its entirety at the end of the story, was videotaped and part of several recordings and documents. Again, I will link this for you, okay? So I'm just going to carry on. I just want to quickly go here. Wait. We've got that. Yeah. The detectives met with Pastenes and her attorney, Garrett Smith. She lawyered up real quick to follow up on earlier statements that she had made to them in regards to Chad, Lori, and Alex Cox, right? At the time of the massage, I had no question about it, she told them. There was not enough oil for a drop cloth. Sorry, I laugh about that because she's like, wow, damn, why we got a drop cloth from Walmart? There's not even enough oil for this. And I'm like, why would you necessitate a whole drop cloth all over the bed to give me a massage? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Maybe I'm just a little too crazy because of all the stuff that's happened. But in the back of my mind, I keep thinking that who was on the phone was Chad and Lori. That was supposed to be my last day. And that's what I'm thinking as well. What do you guys think? Oh, that sounds very, very sinister. We've got a drop cloth. We've got Walmart. Oh, boy. And she's coming in and out of consciousness she's like so tired. Oh, no. Pastenes doesn't remember eating or drinking anything unusual that afternoon and said it was the only time Cox ever gave her a massage. Massages are a red flag. Okay, for real though. I think massages... Moving on. So... Look here. It says less than 2 weeks later, on December 12th, her husband died of natural causes, according to a medical examiner. An autopsy report indicates that Cox had blood clots wedged into the arteries of his lungs. He was 51. Like 1 or 2 days before he passed, he said to me, Zulema, if anything happens to me, I want you to know that there is money in a bag in the closet and it's for you. It's not much, but it's for you. You know, all these people and their freaking closets. Get all those skeletons out of the closet. Please, for goodness sake. It's like money bags, portals, weird stuff's happening in these closets here. Sorry if I'm missing all your chats here. Ryan's like, Dexter didn't shop at Walmart. Or did he? We should write to them and be like, hey, you didn't include that. You didn't include that. So, yeah, Gene Davis is like, sus. So, it's not much, but it's for you. That's weird, right? 1 or 2 days before he passed. Pastenes told police in the video released this week, I said, don't say things like that, Alex. Why would you say something like that? He said, just in case. Pastenes explained there was a black duffel bag in the closet. Inside was a plastic Ziploc bag holding $5,000 to $7,000, and next to it was headphones, a phone, and a gun in a case. The phone was seized by police, but Pastenes told detectives she still has the duffel bag and everything else in it. The day before Cox died, Pastenes said Lori and Chad called her husband to tell him that Tammy Daybell's body was being exhumed from the Springville Evergreen Cemetery in Utah. The way they were talking, they weren't really saying anything like they were worried or anything like that, Pastenes said. I had a feeling that this was really weird. I knew if I asked Lori and Chad about it, they probably wouldn't say anything. But I thought if they had done anything, Alex would probably tell me. Pastenes told police that months earlier, Chad had said Tammy was going to die. Oh, he did say in a car accident. Because Lori also said that Charles was going to die in a car accident, but that Satan intervened. Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry to the person earlier. Yes, indeed. On a trip to Utah, Tammy visited her family in Springville by herself in early October 2019, but made it home safely to Rexburg. Chad said she did pass away, but she was taken over by an evil spirit. In the back of my mind, here I'm thinking they said the same thing about Charles, and then Charles ended up being shot, Pastenes said. 2 weeks after the Utah trip, Tammy died in her sleep. Yeah, no. Asphyxiated, thank you. Tammy and Chad had 5 children, and they said last month that they were told by investigators their mother died of asphyxiation. After Cox got off the phone with Chad and Lori, Pastenes asked if he had anything to do with Tammy's death. He goes, no, that's it, nothing else. I was waiting for him to say something else, so I'm like, okay, are you going to say anything else? And he replies, no, Pastenes said. She explained to investigators that Cox seemed so sure of his answer that she didn't think he was involved. Oh dear. Yeah, no, that's not how to interpret what he's doing there. But anyway, yeah, she's like, she didn't think he was involved. She stood up and began walking away when he said something that made her stop. He said, I think I'm being their fall guy. I asked him, fall guy for what? What is it they're trying to pin on you? What did they do? He didn't want to say anything, Pastenes said. A few minutes later, Cox looked at her and said, either I'm a man of God or I'm not. That's a very weird thing to say. The next day, Cox was dead. Pastenes told detectives she doesn't know if Alex made changes to life insurance policies before he died, but Lori would. Right? Just hold on one second. So, Lori Vallow's charges, ZZRs, are 2 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of conspiracy in the deaths, as well as grand theft for collecting government benefits on behalf of her children after they were killed. So, 2 counts first-degree murder for JJ and Tylee, her children, and 3 counts of conspiracy to commit murder, of which that includes Tammy Daybell's death. Yes? Okay, so we won't read all of this now. Wait. I just want to see if there's anything here, because I wanted to show you still things. Oh, yeah, this last one. Pastenes had spent a lot of time thinking about the events of the past 2 years. She told detectives that if she had moved to Idaho, like Chad and Lori pressured her to do, she isn't sure if she'd be alive today. I now see that they had a real nefarious plan to do something to me or Alex, or that we were the final piece to move to Rexburg, and by the grace of God, I didn't move there, she said. I dodged a bullet, literally, by not moving to Rexburg. Now more than ever, I think, was Alex being true? Was he lying? Was he being told what to do? Did he really have a relationship with me, or was he just following what Chad and Lori were telling him? I ask myself whether these people are insane or they're just led by evil. Yeah, I think I'm not sure if either of those ones are the answer. I think it's just calculated, freaking psychopathic, narcissistic, manipulative killers, right? Okay, now let's see where we're at, because there's something else that I'm sure I have something else here for you. Just hold on one second. Thank you all for being here. I hope you're enjoying it. I just want to see, because I've pinned some stuff here. Oh, yeah, the phone call. And that. Oh, how do I forget that? Okay, so going to nephew Zac Cox. This interview here with Justin Lum and Zac Cox was 1 year ago. Okay, I'm just going to put this on the screen so we can look at it. I'm going to give you bullet points from my notebook now. So Lori had... She had two brothers. She had two brothers and a sister that died earlier. I'm trying to remember the family tree. But anyway, there was Alex Cox was one brother. Now this is Adam Cox, another brother. His son is Zac Cox, the guy on the right on the screen. Okay? Red Cloud's like, nut jobs. Nut butts. Two nut butts. Yes, this is true. Nancy says after Idaho, Lori will be facing charges in Arizona for Charles's death. Yes, exactly. And Angel says Alex was an unwell man. Seems so from the start. And very controlled by Lori. Ahmad says, sad no camera in court, trial of the century. Yeah, it is sad. It sucks. Okay, so Adam Cox is another one of Lori's brothers. He's got a son that's called Zac Cox. That's who we're looking at on screen on the right-hand side. He was interviewed by Justin Lum for Fox 10 News. So he says Lori was like a second mom to him. And Lori was at the temple 8 hours a day, just like a job. And she listened to podcasts and also read books afterwards. Like, it was an absolute immersive obsession for her, all of this. It was just her whole life was her spirituality, right? Yes, Daniel, I'm looking forward to that too. I hope all these trials happen with WebEx. That's what I'm hoping. Then it's very nice to cover as well. Thank you, Jean. Okay, so she believed that she was a goddess who no longer needed to eat or go to the bathroom. You heard that right, everybody. Lori Vallow was so amazing. Such a goddess. She didn't need food. She didn't need to poop ever. Yeah. So as someone said on Patreon, so she really was full of crap, huh? She was, because she didn't need to go. Okay. So in January 2019, she kicked Charles out of the house and said that she was invincible. On January 30th of 2019, Lori said that Charles was dead and there was this demon, Ned Schneider, that had taken over his body. Lori then manipulated the entire family by telling them, and it's the entire, her side of the family, the entire Cox family, by telling them that Charles was having an affair, and if he calls, they shouldn't answer. So you know what? That's what they did. She's so manipulative and so convincing. The whole family was like, screw that Charles freaking cheater. But who was cheating? Who was really cheating? Lori. She was having an affair with Chad Daybell. And she's telling the whole family, this Charles guy, yeah, he's having an affair. So if he calls you guys, don't answer the phone. She said, yeah, Charles was dead and Ned Schneider, a demon, took over his body. Lori met Chad October 2018, and then that's when she changed, according to Zac Cox as well. So now we're hearing from Zulema, from Melanie, from Zac, and this is from a year ago, from Chad Daybell's sister-in-law from a year ago. And if you piece those all together, yeah, you start getting the story. You're like, oh, it's all sounding very similar here. So, yeah, Lori meets Chad, as Chad Daybell's sister-in-law said, yeah, perfect storm. I say match made in absolute hell, match made in a sewer. It's a rat hole, not a rabbit hole. So at first it seemed like Chad was just an author that Lori and Alex had read his books. So hear that? Lori and Alex were like, oh my word, reading his books. Not just Lori and Melanie fangirling over the books. Alex did everything that Lori did. He liked what she liked and she loved it. He loved it. You know what I mean? Oh my word, Jill, I wonder too. Where did she get this Ned Schneider name? What in the hell? No cuck in gory mellow. Yes, Charles was Lori's husband that Alex killed. If people are asking questions in chat, thank you to all those that are answering. That's great. Okay. This is not too long. Let me see. Okay, it's not too long. So, not that I think you mind, but I'm just saying, I'm looking for myself here. At first, it seemed like Chad was just an author that Lori and Alex liked because they read his books, right? Alex gave Zac Chasing Paradise by Chad Daybell and said that he'd give him $100 to read it. So Alex and Lori were so convinced by these books that they think this freaking maggot is just so amazing. Majestic maggot. That they will even give Zac $100 to read the book. Please just read this. It'll change your life, bro. Like, okay, if anybody tells you that about any book, just be careful of that. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Cult mindset. He said that Alex was always mentally off. So to the person who said that earlier, yeah, you're right. Amsterdam Pigeon says, Dankjewel G, ik ben trots op je. Ik denk dat de hele Grizzly family sleuth trots op jou is. Thank you so much. Look at all the little cows. Dankjewel. Okay, so to translate you guys, this is now a Dutch Grizzly. So it means, thank you G, I'm proud of you. And I'm sure that the whole Grizzly family, the sleuth, is also proud of you. Thank you so much. And Amsterdam Pigeon, yeah, you're right. There was a typo in there. And it wasn't Charles that wrote it. We're talking about a Patreon post. I'm going to fix it after this. Okay. So he'd give him $100 to read it. That's where we were. And Alex was always mentally off. Alex bragged to the bishop that Lori spoke directly to Jesus. Lori would then get mad at him and be like, why are you telling people this? So what Lori means is, shut up. It's just between us. She just uses that to manipulate people. She wasn't like, yeah, that's right. Big brother. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if it's big brother or little brother, actually. Wait. Big brother. That's right. You tell them. I speak directly to Jesus. No, she's like, don't tell the bishop that. Oh, you want to keep that secret, do you? Okay. But you know, Alex was just so proud of his sister that he's like, guess what? She speaks directly to Jesus. Okay, bishop, we don't need you. Like, wow. So then, how did Lori remove everything from Charles's house? And Zac says, yeah, Melanie Gibb helped her out. All his clothes, laptop, everything was moved. And remember that Lori took his truck and his keys and everything. And then Charles took her purse and there was a whole thing. And then when Charles called the police saying Lori'd lost her mind, this is what makes me sad. So sad about Charles's death, because if the police had listened to him then already, it may have spared the lives of, and I'm not trying to blame the police, I'm just saying if they really took it seriously, listened, and actually, I don't know what else they could have really done, but listened to it, right? If they listened to Charles and all the red flags that he was flying, he said, she's lost her mind, she's threatening to kill me and the children, okay, I don't feel safe around her, and then they mentally evaluated her and let her go, because she flipped the script. She's like, no, it's him, like he did this and this and this and this, and they let her go. And when Alex shot Charles after those red flags were raised, they said, oh, self-defense. I mean, come on. Self-defense? I still can't believe it. Now, of course, they know it's not self-defense. It was murder, and therefore, Lori Vallow. I know people say Lori Vallow Daybell. Yes, Lori. I like to just say Lori. Let's not give her any credit there. Lori is going to face those charges still. Thank goodness. But imagine if they listened to it and be like, whoa, this woman's out of her mind. She is plotting to kill everybody. After meeting Chad. Her guru, her man, her big maggot. Okay. Moving on. So she packed up all of his stuff. She hid it in boxes behind food storage. And this is apocalyptic food storage, just so you know. She's preparing, okay? Everyone in the family, the whole Cox family, took Lori's side without talking to Charles. Zac would then text and call Charles when he was on his own, because Lori treats everybody like children, including Charles, by taking their phones and like reading their messages and not giving their phones back. Like, who does that as an adult, right? Nancy Jennings says, if you do a visual timeline of all this mess at like a family tree, you'd run out of ink. I really would. I would. Double Z says, were these grooming odorous? Yeah, proclaimed vegans as well, just wondering. I don't think so. Never heard of any of that. But then again, what does it matter what they were proclaimed as? You know why? Because Lori didn't need to eat, because she's a goddess. She doesn't need to eat or poop or pee. Okay, she's a goddess. Wow, okay. I wrote here on the top of my notebook, Zac has an excellent memory. I'm going to pin this interview in the description box for you. Or not pin it, I'll put it in the description box for you. So you can go watch it too. It's very, very interesting. These are just bullet points, right? Melanie B, so Boudreaux, would monitor Brandon so that he couldn't be in touch with Charles. So see, it's like all the women, well, I can't say all, but between Lori monitoring everything, and then everybody monitoring Zac, and then Melanie Boudreaux monitoring her man at the time, Brandon, being like, don't talk to Charles. Because Lori had, convinced everyone that Charles is the problem. Well, when Zac left the house, that's when he would text with Charles and be like, are you okay? Like, what's happening? Just catch up with him. After Charles was killed, no one in the family told them. And remember, Lori texted her own kids to say, oh, her own son, right? And his children. I'm just trying to remember all those texts. Oh, my word. Just to say, yep, sorry, your dad died. Gotta go. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, what kind of text is that? So Lori spread rumors then about Zac to the family. I drew a red flag next to that because Zac was at that time living with Brandon and Melanie Boudreau. And Lori started spreading rumors about Zac because after Charles was shot, she took Charles's phone and started reading through all those messages and realized that Zac and Charles had been talking. And Zac's dad was also talking to Charles. So then she started making sure that everybody knows he's dark. And that makes me nervous for Zac, right? It made me nervous for Zac. Now, of course, thankfully she's there in jail on trial. But listen to this. Then he also got worried because he's like, well, what? On July 11th, 2019, Charles was shot. Zac found out on Google because he hadn't heard from Charles for 2 days. So him and his dad were like, what? So they Googled it and it said, Texas man fatally shot by brother-in-law. It was deemed self-defense, but they murdered him. And Zac says the ball was completely dropped when it happened. And that Tylee looked very uncomfortable. And Zac then said he was really scared of Alex and Lori. And you know what he did? He moved to Kansas. He followed his gut instinct. He's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. And I think that was so good to do. Because at this point, Charles was shot. But the kids were still alive. And Tammy Daybell still alive and all that. So imagine, I think Zac was definitely on their dark hit list. Their little dark and light thing is like the dark one's hit list, basically. Okay, so Tylee was crying with her grandma. And Tylee looked at Zac and seemed to want to tell him something. But then the grandma, which I think is Lori's mom, just ushered her out and said, off you go, on your way, it's okay, don't worry about it. And to this day, I mean, it made Zac choke up about it and say, like, he wishes he heard what she had to say. Because she looked like, I want to tell you something type thing. Charles wanted to try to get Lori excommunicated from the church because he thought maybe that would help her snap out of it. Everyone blocked Zac and everyone sided with Lori. So even after this, everyone blocked Zac and everyone sided with Lori. There was no contact and they have no idea where Lori went at that time. Lori spread the rumor that Zac, his dad, and Charles and Brandon were all plotting to kill Lori for insurance money. Don't you think that's rich coming from Lori? Lori tells the whole family that Zac, his dad, which is her brother, so basically her brother and son, Brandon Boudreau, and Charles were all plotting against her to kill her for insurance money. Wow, projection. A lot of projection, because that's what she did all the time. Tylee was very boisterous when it came to conflict. And Lori went through Charles's phone and deleted messages from family to Charles. So that's what I wrote there. Okay, so we've done that. So I hope you find that all interesting. I certainly do. I'm like, whoa, I could just look at all this stuff all the time. Now, the last thing we have to do for today is I want to just play just a little portion of this. This is a jail phone call between Colby Ryan, Lori's eldest son, who, yes, is still alive. And I almost want to say because he got married and stood his ground and protected his lady at that time. Later, he was charged with SA, so there's that, and then let go. But anyway, at the time, Lori couldn't stand her daughter-in-law by the sounds of it. But he's alive, okay? And so, isn't he also a pastor or something? I think so. Anyway, listen, the point of this little bit that I'm playing for you. Listen how Lori laughs at him. That's what's so ridiculous. Okay, so let's play this. Wait, there. You already heard some of the laugh. Let's go back a bit. I just want to boost it because it's a little bit soft. He's confronting his mother in this jail phone call, but like, you murdered my siblings? You did all this and this and this because he'd found out so much. And she is laughing. Look at this.
And you will know what actually happened.
You're right. You know what, Mom?
And we all will stand there with
everything
We-
into the light. You're asking. He will convict the people who act in his name with pure blasphemy. This is funny? This is funny? This is funny. You're laughing like this is funny. How come your camera's on, Mom? You don't want to look at me in the eye? Why can't you look at me? It's
Nice
just
to
me
talk
and me.
to
I'm in
you
my house
folks.
alone.
I love you. I always will. One day you will see and one day you will understand.
Oh, that makes me so mad when she says that. Because she said the same to Melanie. Okay, I love you. One day you'll see. One day you'll understand. Like, what is there to understand? You murdered your children. Well, I think she had her brother do it, right? But still. Oh, man. Children murdered. Fourth husband murdered. Brother drops dead, which I think Lori and Chad were in Hawaii at the time when Alex dropped dead. So I wonder about that. I really still wonder about his death. To me, it's quite suspicious, but may have just been like, okay, I'm out. I think I'm their fall guy, and the next day he drops dead. That's a bit weird. But she does this, just like, I love you, and one day you'll see, one day you'll understand, one day you'll know. Don't you hate it when they do that? When I say there's these freaking gaslighting narcissists, and this one is a religious gaslighting narcissist, like, my word. Who wants to get me snarky on a Sunday? Lori Vallow. So, listen one more time how she says it.
I love you. I always will. One day you will see and one day you will understand.
Go ahead and
I
hang
do
up.
love
See
you.
how that works for you. You gonna hang up?
I don't have anything else to say. You obviously don't know.
Let me tell you
You weren't
something.
there. You weren't there. Summer wasn't there. My mom wasn't there. The police weren't there. The FBI weren't there.
Your right
Nobody
mom was there.
was there.
Tylee and JJ mom.
Yeah, and guess what? They know. They know exactly what happened. And they love me. And we're still together for.
They know exactly what happened and they still here? They're dead. Buried in your fifth hubby's backyard. They love me. They know exactly. Everybody knows what happened. These people love me. What? Wow. Okay, I can't anymore. I've reached my limit for Lori Vallow for the day. We're going to get too snarky if we carry on. So, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it today. If you did, like, okay, share, hashtag Lori Vallow Daybell or Lori Vallow Trial or something like that, and Grizzly True Crime as well. Janet says she's so full of cuck. I agree. She's so full of cuck. All right, so I hope all of these bullet points broke down some of the madness for you. I hope it was a little bit of, it made sense, you know? And everything I will link for you, okay? So that you can go check out those interviews yourself. You can go check out the East Idaho News Lori Vallow, or it's called Lori Digest. They've got lots of bullet points as well if you want to research this more. But if you want a deep dive, yeah, check out the playlist that I've made for you. And a year ago, we did a deep dive, which a lot of that is still nothing. There was not too much new yet in the trial that was like, what? Right? So go check that out. So thank you so much. I'm looking at the raccoon comment. G said, remember the raccoon comment. That's horrible. I do remember that. Yes. Okay. So I will see you all again tomorrow for La Tisha. I hope the stream will lead you to that. I'll see you all tomorrow for that. Have a great one. And Letitia trial day. Off we go. Get ready. Rest your eardrums. Okay, bye.